Hey y'all, it's Tanya with Bad Faith Life, and yes, I had a car accident, but I thank God I'm yet here to tell the story of it. So, about a month and a half ago, leaving church on a beautiful excuse me, leaving church on a beautiful Sunday, and driving down the street, in the words of my pastor, minding my own business. And I'm driving. I enter the intersection, and this young lady who was waiting to make a left turn decided that she thought she could beat me. And she turned and basically just ran right into me. She judged it wrong, and I was not speeding because it's Sunday after church. I ain't got nowhere to go but home. This is my leisurely Sunday drive down one of the scenic streets here in Memphis, and she hit me, and hit me on my front and passenger that right side. Most of the damage was in on the passenger, that very corner. The tire and the tire and all the wheel was just messed up. And excuse me, it's amazing how you can just be going through life. You got your plans and all this, that, and the other, and just like that, your life can change just that quickly. And I'm so thankful to God for being able to walk away, because people are dying every day in car accidents. That's a common thing. People are angry. They just driving all kind of ways. So I'm so thankful to God to yet be in the land of the living, as the saints say. And just grateful, to be here. I'm trying to, I notice I close my eyes when I talk a lot. I'm trying to not keep them open, so if you see me close them, just know that I do that. But yeah, it just, my truck, I had a Ford Explorer that was paid for. Had paid for it the year before, was looking forward to many car note less years. Was in the process. I decided to buy a new house, to sell my current house and buy a new one. I got pre-qualified without having a car note. And yeah, my car was totaled out, both the air front and side airbags deployed. And at the worst possible time to be looking for a new car with this chip issue, I had to find a new car. But God bless me, y'all. He blessed me, and He's still blessing. And I'm yet expecting God to just do some awesome things concerning the house situation. But on the car situation, I will say this: y'all get some insurance. Get some insurance. If you can't afford insurance, you can't afford a car. Period. Just period. Period. In this day and time. In my particular situation, the young lady who hit me, she was in a late model Chevy truck. Looked like it was probably 90s. It was heavy, way heavier than mine was. But not only did she not have insurance, she did not even have a driver's license. And I'm thinking, what's going through your thought process that you're going to get in a car on a busy big city like Memphis on a main street and just not have no driver's license? Anyhow, so that's the situation. Thank God I did have insurance, and my uninsured motorist had to pick it up and all of that. I had, let me see, the first thing I remember after the car stopped was just being stunned that I actually hit somebody. And I remember thinking, I saw her turning, and I remember thinking, can I go left or right? But I couldn't do anything. And I remember thinking, y'all are gonna hit. And then I hit, and I just was like, we hit. I had an accident. And then one of the other things I thought about, I was like, oh man, what about the house, you know. And I knew when the airbags, I figured they were going to total my car out, although nothing in the inside of the car is damaged. The only inside damage I had was the rear view mirror was dangling down and the front windshield was cracked. But the rest of the inside of the car looked fine. The front end and the front side and the passenger side all the way to the door, that was all messed up. But I figured with those airbags deploying, they were going to total it. And I was like, that means I'm going to have to get a new car. That means probably a car note. Oh my God. But I said, you know what? I'm going to trust God. Like I have been trusting God throughout, you know, all these to supply all these other things that I need. I said, you know, we're just going to trust God through this. And so, excuse me, get me some water. Try to drink more water. I said, you know, we just going to trust God through this. And so I thank God. I felt at the time I didn't have enough injuries to warrant me going to the ER in the emergency room, in the ambulance, I mean. So when the paramedics, you know, the firemen got there and the paramedics hopped off and they were checking me out. And I thank God also, the minute the car stopped, it's like there were 10 people just everywhere checking to see if I was okay. I was just sitting in the car just kind of stunned, and I felt my whole chest was just on fire. That's the only thing I felt. Just all of my chest was just on fire. And I was just really kind of stunned, but it wasn't like a heart thing, just was like a burning thing. And so this lady came and she was like, ma'am, I need you to get out the car. Your car is leaking some stuff, and I think you just need to get out the car. And she gave me a bottle of water, and there was a nurse, someone who's in the medical field, because she immediately came up and, you know, she said, are you, you know, she asked me some triage type questions. And I heard through her that some of the other people in the car had possible concussions, but they refused any medical attention. And so by the time the paramedics got there and they checked me out, I had a big, huge bruise. I'll put the pictures and try to insert those pictures in the video. I had a bruise on my arm. And yeah, my chest was burning, but you know, I was not finna I was not finna be opening up my stuff in the middle of the street. So, and I didn't really see anything, you know, that's pretty much all I knew that was going on. And so later on, my friend picked me up. When I got in her car, and I was coming from church, so I had a long wrap dress on. And so when I sat in her car, you know, I kind of hear you sit down, and I'm tall. I kind of pulled my dress up, and she knows I had a little blood on my slip. And we happened to look down, and I had a vertical gash on my knee. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that. I have no idea how that happened, because it was on my left knee. And the accident, most of the accident stuff was happening on the, you know, the right side of the car. So I don't know how that happened, but it's a vertical line. Just a little vertical cut was in my knee. So they bandaged me up. And I, you know, pretty much I went home and I was okay. Just kind of this sore and tenderness. And so later that night, I didn't really, you know, when I was getting dressed for bed, I didn't really notice anything, but slight little redness. The next day, I saw, you know, it got redder. The next day after that, it started turning purple and blue and all this other kind of stuff. And it got worse and worse and worse until I actually had to go to my primary care. Funny story. I tried to go to like the minor med, and I was told, they asked, did the airbags deploy? And I said yes. And they told me something I did not know. Because the airbags deployed, I could not go to the minor med. They said I had to go to the emergency room first. And my family was like, you need to go to the emergency room. My mom was calling, my cousins was calling. They're like, you need to go to the emergency room. And I'm thinking, I don't have anything life-threatening. My blood pressure was up, but it went down. The paramedics stayed and, you know, saw it going down and like, okay. And I had to sign something, but I'm thinking it's Delta variant out in these streets. And the emergency rooms are already overwhelmed. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to be sitting in no waiting room all day because I don't have anything life-threatening. And when they triage me, I'd just be sitting there. And so, you know, that's another reason I said I'm going to go to... my company has a little clinic next to through Walgreens, we have a little clinic for my company. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to go there. And so when I called them, yeah, same thing. Because the airbag's deployed, you're going to have to go to the emergency room. So that didn't work. And so I was like, okay, let me call my primary care. And I was expecting her to say the same thing, but she took me. I was like, good. So the accident, I think, was on Sunday. So this was Wednesday when I went. And by the time I went, all my right breast was just looked just like a piece of meat. Raw. It was just terrible, and it was very painful. And basically what happened, that airbag and the seatbelt did most of the damage to me. That's the biggest damage I have, was from that. And yeah, so if you are blessed in the breast area and you have a car accident and that airbag deploys, beware, because it is not playing around. That airbag, I was told that it's actually gunpowder that they use in there to make it shoot out so fast. And so it comes out so fast. It did not hit my face because, you know, Thelma and Louise, you know, because of the way I sit, the airbag hit my chest, you know, way before my face. And so I can't imagine if that had exploded like that in your face. But yeah, so that's kind of what it is. And you know, I'm gonna stop taking it now, high dose ibuprofen, and I had to do cold ice and all of that. Girl, it was just not pretty at all. And so yeah, the thing about it, I went to her when I went back for my 2-week. It was still looking funny, and so she sent me to have an ultrasound on it. And it was time for my mammogram anyway, so we did them both. And when the lady was doing my mammogram, she was like, oh yeah, I can tell you've had an accident. And she showed me all this white that's all across the bottom of the ultrasound, and on the mammogram. And when I did the ultrasound, the tech said, yeah, you've got a lot of it's still liquidy in there. And I was like, what kind of liquid is that? And I'm like, okay, because I knew it was very funny shaped. It's like my right breast is funny shaped now. And she's like, yeah, it's like blood. It's called fat necrosis, basically what happened. That airbag just like caused some fat cells in there, I guess, to die or whatever. And so, yeah, it's like all liquefied. And she said it may take it up to a year or more for the body to reabsorb all that. So now, it is funny because for me, my left breast has always been the bigger one, but now it's the right one because of the accident, and it's funny shaped. And I'm like, that is not cute. Luckily, I ain't married and ain't nobody got to look at them but me. But anyway, I know, TMI. But yeah, so, you know, that's kind of where we are. Most of the pain and soreness has gone away, still funny shaped. And I have to go back in 6 months and have another mammogram and ultrasound to check how it's healing up. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other thing that happened, let me see, that was Wednesday. When I went Wednesday, I wasn't having any back trouble, and I do have a recurring kind of back situation, but by Friday, my back had just tightened all up. I mean, bad. So I've been going to my chiropractor to kind of work on that, and that probably just came from just the jostling of the accident, because I haven't had any trouble with it in like 5 or 6 years. But yeah, it was real rough for a while, but I thank God I'm doing as well as I am. And I just want to kind of give an update to talk about that. And thank you so much, all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you so much. Still kind of working out what this channel is going to be when it grows up. But I thank you, and keep me in your prayers. Bye-bye.